Hi, I'm Tom Dale, and today I want to show you Glimmer.js. Glimmer is a new JavaScript component library that helps you build rich, dynamic user interfaces for the web. Extracted from Ember's battle-tested rendering layer, Glimmer is fast enough to be used on the mobile web, but so simple that you can learn the basics in just a few minutes. Let me show you how it works. To get started, we'll first install EmberCLI. Glimmer uses EmberCLI to help you get up and running without any setup or configuration. We can create our first Glimmer app by using Ember new with the Glimmer blueprint. EmberCLI has generated an app directory for us. If we open it up, we'll find that our new project has been scaffolded and is ready to go. Glimmer components are made up of templates and JavaScript files. Let's start by making our first component called Weather Tracker. Glimmer templates are built on HTML, so let's paste in some existing code. We actually now have our first working Glimmer component. Let's try it out by opening the app template, adding our Weather Tracker component, and starting the Ember server. If we open the app in a browser, we can see that our Weather Tracker component is being rendered. Glimmer makes it easy to build data-driven components. Our Weather Tracker currently has a temperature hard-coded in its template. Let's replace that with some JavaScript data. We'll open our component file and define an object called weather that has a temperature property. We can now display this data in our template using a familiar handlebars-like syntax. And just like that, our component's output is being rendered from local data. Now, our component would be a lot more useful if it was displaying current live data from the server, so let's implement that now. To start, we'll use the tracked decorator to tell Glimmer that data within our weather object can now change. We've just made our component reactive. It will now intelligently re-render whenever the weather property changes. Next, let's write a function that requests the latest data from an API. Because Glimmer comes with TypeScript out of the box, we can write this asynchronous function using async and await. We'll start by writing an async function called loadWeather. We'll request data from the server and then set our weather property to the resulting JSON object. Finally, we'll kick off this function in our component's constructor, so it runs whenever our component is used. And we can see that our component is now rendering data from the server. Let's update our loadWeather function to pull every 2 seconds. Our data is now changing, and Glimmer is keeping our templates in sync. Now, you may have heard that Glimmer is one of the fastest JavaScript rendering engines, and while our weather tracker is pretty simple, Glimmer maintains that performance even under significantly more load. But how does that work? First, Glimmer compiles your templates down into a compact series of instructions known as bytecode. Besides being small in size, these instructions are extremely efficient. And since all of your tracked variables are known ahead of time, Glimmer is able to avoid unnecessary re-renders of your application without any optimization effort from you. When your app boots up on the client, Glimmer's virtual machine reads in your template bytecode and produces a streamlined program to render your data-driven application. This novel approach is what makes Glimmer one of the fastest JavaScript rendering engines, while also being one of the smallest. Glimmer embraces all of the patterns of composition that you've come to expect from a modern component library. For example, we can pass arguments into components. Right now, our weather tracker only shows the weather for New York. Let's update it to take in a zip code as an argument. First, we'll add a second weather tracker to our application, and we'll pass in a zip code for San Francisco. Glimmer uses the @ symbol to distinguish between JavaScript data that we pass to our components and normal HTML attributes like class. Now in our component, we can use that new zip argument in our loadWeather function. And now we can see the weather for San Francisco shows up. In this video, we've touched on just some of the features that Glimmer gives you for building rich JavaScript components. And when you're ready to ship, EmberCLI provides an easy way to distribute those components to existing web applications. The Ember build command gives you a script that you can drop into any JavaScript or server-rendered web app. That script exports your Glimmer components as web components, meaning you can use them in your apps just like you would any other native HTML element. Glimmer's rendering engine and powerful composition story bundled with cutting-edge features like TypeScript support, ES6 classes, and an opinionated file system make it a joy to work with. We took the same technology that powers Ember and made it simple, small, and lightning fast. And I'm so excited to finally get to share it with you. So go try it out and build something awesome.